Welcome back everyone to the Grand Campaign 1914. And last time we started World War One, or I guess we were forced to enter World War One. And right now we're just trying to help out Belgium. Yes, of course, we have no other interests. We are just trying to help out a poor neutral country. And right now we're just smashing the fleets of the Central Powers, which is a pretty good activity to pass time while we wait for the German army to commence its attack on Belgium. Our cavalry is already near its lines, but of course the infantry will be a little bit slower. It'll be a little bit slower. Now we can set up taxes and a minimum wage, but for now we will not do that because these things can change the scent around, so it is probably good to keep it that way. National War Bonds is also available should we have need to reduce... Actually no, this increases the scent in exchange for money. Money to run our war effort, etc, etc. Maybe we should do that. Yes, we shall take that, and then we can do press censorship or something else, or propaganda. That's also 3%. So all these things can wait for now. I could set up a minimum wage. No, we're just gonna wait for all these things. Or maybe we could do something interesting. We could do medium taxes and then have a low minimum wage, which is going to decrease cent by 5. Good. So we gained a ton of money and lost nothing. Yay! Okay, so now you're all set up. All of you can board the transports and head on over to Bruges. Which is the closest port to the front lines. Actually, I could try to strategically redeploy you. It would probably be a bit faster than just moving there. Yes, it would. Yeah, so let's do that. That is quite good. A bunch of things, nothing too important though. Then let's check out our wounded squadrons so that we can reorganize them maybe. So some of our ships should probably stay in dock to repair, but some others can head back on over and fight. Yes, like that. And then I am going to have these two forces exchange some ships. These are some reserve escort ships that we have. And then you can move back and do some naval combat patrol in the Baltic, so that we can both help out our Russian allies and also stop German trade in that region. Medical breakthrough events, there's a ton of these. I'm not going to read all of them, and I'm going to let you decide whether or not you want to read them. If you want to read that, you can pause. It's quite good, quite useful, but I'm not that interested in it, so I'm just gonna unpause that and not read them. Usually just click them away. Hold on. Okay, not sure what happened, and we are in combat. What is nothing too important. Okay, good. Right now, it looks like Germany has captured a province, Arlon. Let's try to counterattack there. We're in the first land combat, and the British naval mission returns home from the Ottoman Empire. That's not gonna be too important. And yes, there's a lot of French forces counterattacking here, and it's just an 1897 division for the Germans, so it is gonna be fairly easy to throw them back over. And with the cavalry, we should be able to grab that area quite quickly, because the cavalry does have increased movement speed, as opposed to normal troops. So now our army is fully engaged, and we'll be ready to fight further battles. And further battles will fight, it would seem, as the Germans are bringing in quite a few divisions. Of course, they're kind of focusing on the Eastern Front, it would seem. Which is good for us. They seem to be quite confused altogether, which is, again, really good for us, but it remains to be seen whether they want to focus on one area or the other. In the Eastern Front, if they focus there, they can very easily beat Russia. So, I'm not sure they want to entirely do that. And thus come Pala to Germany. That is here. That isn't a problem, because when we take Dar es Salaam, the supply route for these troops in German East Africa will be completely cut off. So, no problem there. Okay, now our infantry has arrived near Liège. And they're gonna move in. Then I'm gonna move my cavalry to Arlon to help the French defend their land. We also have a bit of a naval battle. Shouldn't be too good, actually. But we're winning regardless, because our fleet is just that good. We're probably going to lose eventually, because they just have better battleships. Yeah, let's retreat back to Malta. So we did lose a battle cruiser. 2 battle cruisers, in fact, in that engagement. Not too good. Gulu. They're just moving really quickly, which is kind of really annoying. But oh well. We also have these 2 battalions now. You can move to Nairobi. Or Nakuru. Nairobi. Strategic redeployment. So that then you can engage the German militia. And hopefully stop them from doing whatever it is that they're doing. Eastern North Sea, there's just random German ships all about. And Arlon. Let's control over Maun. Oh, that's just in southern Africa. Arlon. Now, our cavalry has arrived to reinforce the French. And right now there's quite a few German divisions pushing onto the area. And they are winning. But we have reinforcements coming in, and hopefully that's going to be enough to stop Germany. Japan has joined the war, which is good. Oh, Shetland Islands. They have ships all about. And yes, it seems like though 2 of these are HQs, which aren't really divisions that are supposed to fight. But oh well. And yeah, so their forces are quite well organized, whereas ours aren't. Hopefully we can stop their advance anyway. Now, they don't seem to have any reserves around there to continue the push, even if they win the battle, so nothing too major. They tried to attack in Liège, and they failed because we have way too many forces here. And once our troops are fully organized, this is their organization, then we're going to try to make a bit of a counterattack against them. Is there any decisions that we can do? No. Okay, and then we have the Eastern Command. I think you can, yeah, you can move to Belgium. And Russia isn't doing all that well. They're getting pushed back in Poland quite harshly by huge German forces. And they're starting to lose territories as well. Not good. Then you can attack there. In Gulu. Now, you're right now not very well organized. but you can at least stop them, although it does look like you're losing. So I'm gonna wait for you to get organized, and then use you to try to repel the German forces in East Africa. Good. Lome. Oh, that's just one trapped German militia in Togo, and they're gonna die. Okay, so now our forces seem pretty well set up at the border with Germany. We can do a national development plan. By investing in our infrastructure and industries, we might reduce the number of unemployed and create a good scenario to attract new investments to the area. This will not only help and please the population, but it will also increase the industrial capacity of your country. So we need tons of money for that. That decreases the Senate, and it's going to trigger the National Development Plan in 90 days. Sure, let's do that. That might help in the long run, if it does indeed give us a lot of industrial capacity. We can also do an offensive chit, which is something that I believe you can only do once per game. And as you can see from the text, it increases our morale, maximum mobilization, and a lot of things that are going to help our troops actually fight. But nothing too important. Now, speaking of help, it would be nice if we used our Air Force, I think. So let's pull together our two groups of planes and rebase them to Brussels, which is the nearest airfield. That is to say, because there's also German airplanes bombing there. So we're going to ground attack in Koblenz. No, not in Koblenz. Eupen. I want that to happen. Which isn't going to be doing all that much damage. Because of course this is just the early days of flight overall, so not just military aviation, but aviation in general. Of course, since this is the first days of aviation in general, they also don't really have countermeasures to this. They don't really have anti-aircraft weapons, so it is going to be fairly safe to conduct these attacks just to harass them. And there's also French aircraft helping us out, and German aircraft trying to fight us, but I don't think anybody really has the ability to do very, very great casualties over anyone. I'm going to ground attack in Luxembourg, because I'm going to try an offensive there later, so just a tiny bit of softening up might help. And right now, Russia is not doing well at all, so we need to support them as much as possible. Our forces are well organized right now, and so let's try to attack in Luxembourg when daylight breaks. Don't want to fight at nighttime because that's gonna give us some pretty severe penalties unless we have very specific land doctrines that we don't have. And right now, Germany has 10 divisions in the area, and if France comes in and supports us, which they aren't doing, then we'd have a chance to beat them, but since they aren't, we're going to have to stop. Wanky. Oh, sure. Speaking of Africa, you are now ready. So you're going to attack Gulu. Even if you don't win, and you are going to win, that would be very useful because, again, I'm going to take their port and their supply route right now. And that's going to leave them fairly starved. And that's Haig. Hello. He has a very high skill. Surprisingly. I would have thought that Haig would have been given a very bad treatment. But it seems like the developers really like Haig. Started bombing enemy forces, yes. So that's not going to do all that much damage in the long run. As you can see, 4 killed personnel and 2 horses. Not exactly the best thing possible. And Riga is lost, so the Russians are losing hard. Due to the German concentration of forces in the area. And I wish there would be more that we could do to help them out, but at this point, really nothing. Now let's try a bit of a more concentrated attack towards Eupen. That's likely to draw reinforcements from other parts of the line the Germans control. Also, we don't have enough forces here. We have some more divisions coming in, though. Six more, and then 2 more coming in through rail redeployments. So that's maybe gonna be enough to start an offensive. One thing that we could do is start producing artillery for our units. I don't think we really have any. No, we don't. Not on our cavalry and not on our infantry either. So it is going to be very important to keep them well supplied with artillery. However, we're going to wait for the Great War medium artillery to finish to start that production so that we are producing the latest models. And then that should help our chances of actually winning engagements by quite a bit. Then what we can also do is we have a lot of supplies, 15,000 right now. We can see if some of our allied nations require supplies and send them to them. Russia maybe. And then Serbia definitely requires supplies, but we can't give them supplies right now because we need to wait until October the 7th for our diplomats to be ready again. Ottomans again chose to remain neutral, but most likely soon they will be forced into the war. Regardless, and I need to open negotiations so that I can give them some supplies. About 4,000. Should keep them going for quite a bit. I could ask in exchange for some money. Nope, they're not gonna accept. Overall, wouldn't be that useful anyway. More German Navy destruction. Nice. Nice indeed. And yeah, I really wish that there was more that we could do to help out Russia. That's really bad in general, because also Germany is gonna be pushing back with tons of divisions after they finish off Russia, because they really have a lot there, and so we really need to make the most of this temporary superiority that we have, but I'm not really sure as to how that is going to be possible. And that's bad. That is bad indeed. You are still moving in and you're getting air attacked. That's fine. So in a couple days you'll be ready and... Okay. In a couple days you'll be ready and then I'll try to make an attack going. The problem with Eupen is that it doesn't have any provinces that are bordering it with our territory that we can attack from. We can only attack from one province, Liège. And that's going to be preventing us from getting a flanking bonus, which is quite essential. Search for oil, metal, and rail materials. Nope, apparently. Apparently not. Okay, so here's all our forces. We could try to attack Luxembourg and see if our allies are going to support us. Even if they aren't, this might draw in German forces from elsewhere. It might be useful. So we have 20 divisions against the German 10, and if things kept going like that, then we would win. but Germany is streaming in reinforcements. Of course. We're still winning, which is good. Aurora. Sure, I wonder if it's that Aurora. It's probably not. You get redeployed like that, and we lost a province somewhere. We lost Shingola. Oh, over here. How are they able to move that quickly with this militia? I don't know, they're about to actually reach their East African colony. Not really sure about that. But I'm gonna just make sure they're cut off and dead. Yes, let's continue looking at the combat in Luxembourg. It's not looking that good, actually. If the French don't come in and support us, then we aren't going to be able to break through. We are slowly advancing. As you can see, our progress is slowly going up. But soon enough, they will bring in extra troops, I am guessing. And that would not be too good. And who declared war? Oh, the Ottoman Empire. Okay. We also got mass charge, and whatever John Fisher was researching, probably leading by orders, he can research a naval doctrine, distraction actions, because he's actually an admiral. Land doctrines, we still don't have anything to research in that category, but we could research the automatic feed tabulator, because that is very good for our research modifier, and we have a blueprint for that regardless. So it is going to be easier to research that. And of course, the Ottoman Empire joined the war. We do have troops here near them. I don't think we can actually do anything with them, however. I'm going to try and attack on Gaza. I'm gonna try, but it's probably going to fail. No, definitely not, because the enemy has both fortifications and lots of troops in the area. So it is probably good to not do too much there. And we're still pushing forward, taking huge casualties, but also inflicting huge casualties, which is good, although the problem is that Germany has loads and loads of manpower, so you're not really going to be bleeding them out anytime soon. If we look at our intelligence, we can also actually try to do some industrial espionage. Failed to steal blueprints, which is annoying. If you look at the intelligence screen, we can see that we think they have 1,911 manpower, which means about 2 million ready to fight us. Quite a lot. France, which is of course our ally, so we know their manpower, has 632, so 632,000 men ready to fight. Not exactly up to snuff with our manpower as well. And right now we're finally starting to lose because some of our forces aren't ready to fight anymore. So we're going to stop that attack and wait on that. Not sure why all these transports are here. Redeploy them. And our land forces right now require some reinforcements and such, because of course they just fought. So we gotta readjust our economic input. And the Zapatistas annexed Mexico. So the Mexican Revolution is kind of progressing, it would seem. Although it seems like constitutionalists are doing fairly well. Okay. Don't need any more upgrades, it would seem. And right now, the French are moving in. Now that our divisions are having to resupply and refit. That is kind of annoying. Once they are indeed reorganized though, we can actually help out the French. Plans against the Ottoman Empire. We can also do this. So the British Admiralty plans to strike the Ottoman Empire directly at Constantinople using the Royal Navy to open a path for landing troops. This ambitious operation requires specific ships and a huge amount of supplies. Chances of success are acceptable, and success means Ottoman capitulation, which would open the Balkan area to us. They shall give the green light. So the Dardanelles objective, the operation will be a success if we manage to land troops on the Gallipoli Peninsula, Gallipoli province next to Constantinople, or if we manage to pull the Ottomans out of the war before mid-December 1915. Roger that. And the French supported the plan, so France sent some troops and supplies to support this operation. Now, this is very, very likely to not succeed. Mostly because of the fact that... Wait, there's already ships in Plymouth. Sure. Most likely because of the fact that in Gallipoli, there's a beach, right? And so the Ottomans are most likely going to be defending that beach with troops. And we can't really perform good amphibious assaults until World War II. And even then, we're going to have huge penalties to fight in an amphibious assault. We don't even have basic amphibious warfare, which is going to increase our maximum amphibious size to 2. So I believe that means that we have a size of 1. Yeah, we have a size of 1. So that means that if over one division participates in an amphibious assault at once, then that division is going to be having ridiculous penalties, something like minus 90% combat efficiency. So it is effectively only possible for us to amphibious assault with one troop, and one troop amphibious assaulting another division is not going to be ending all that well for us, unfortunately. Seize Thessaloniki. So, Greece's Prime Minister Venizelos asked us to seize the support of Thessaloniki against his king's will. The support would make a perfect rear base for the Dardanelles operation. Yeah, we'll do that. And that's gonna give France the port. And now in Greece, there's a bit of a divide between a royalist faction that is supporting Germany and a faction around the Prime Minister that is supporting the Entente. So of course we'd want that later faction to prevail. Thessaloniki is actually bordering Bulgaria, so we might actually have to fight against Bulgaria later. And if indeed we do manage to push through Bulgaria, we can attack Constantinople from land, which would be very useful. There's something to think about that. Of course, the big problem is that in the Balkans, terrain is very bad, and of course, Austria-Hungary is directly bordering it as well. So they're gonna have an easy time being really, really annoying. Okay, so our forces are slightly reorganized. Let's try to support the French by attacking both Eupen and Luxembourg to distract the German forces. So in Luxembourg, things seem to be going fairly well. We are indeed making progress. And in Eupen, we are going to be making progress as well. Good. So that might force the Germans to pull back forces from the Eastern Front. We could activate our offensive chit, but that's not a good idea. So we're not going to do that so far. I'm just going to monitor them from here. Of course, the fact that there's constant air bombardments going is not really that good. And yes, here comes a ton of divisions, probably from the Eastern Front. And that attack is now probably going to teeter out into nothingness because they have superior forces. So let's stop that and wait. I hope that the French aren't going to waste too many men in that assault. So we lost 284 ourselves in that attack, and France lost a lot more. Austria-Hungary annexed Montenegro, so first country to go is Montenegro. Not surprising at all, being that it is Montenegro. Unfortunately for them, they are quite small. They're still making some advancements in Eupen, and the Russians lost Warsaw already. But this is good because it's drawing Germans. And that's the end of the part, by the way. That's my alarm. Not going to continue further because it's getting too long already. I want to thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the Grand Campaign so far, and I'll see you soon.